to the show. I'm very excited to have you and to talk about what we're going to talk about today. So go ahead and introduce yourself and kind of share what your business is and how you got started doing it.
Okay, I am Taylor of Taylor Lynn Crochet. I have a crochet blog, I have an Etsy shop, and those are mainly the things I do. I do craft fairs and stuff as well locally. But I got started crocheting when I was about 13, maybe 11, and my aunt taught me, and she taught me how to do a double crochet, but she taught me wrong. It is the only stitch I knew for like 5 years. I did not know any other stitches, and I would make these little bags. All I could make was a square bag, and I just kind of stopped doing it because everything I made was ugly, to be honest with you. It was not cute.
We have all been there. We've all been there.
So I was like kind of discouraged. I'm very impatient, so spending all that time making something and it not being cute was like the most disappointing thing ever.
Oh yeah, if I don't succeed at something right away, like especially when I was younger, I would be like, I don't want to do this.
Exactly.
Yeah, yep. It's very bad.
When I got older, probably about, I want to say when I'm 25 now, so 2 years ago-ish. So it's 23, and I seen on Pinterest, like someone was making crochet washcloths, and I want to say it was Meg Made with Love was whose washcloths I seen on Pinterest. They were so cute, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I could make those. I could make those. Like my grandma would like that. I'm like, maybe I could sell them. And I tried to make a washcloth, and I just had forgotten how to hold my hook. Like I forgot everything.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't even make a square. My washcloths were like trapezoids. I should probably go dig them up because I still have some. It's hilarious. But basically, from there, I seen Ashley of Sorella's blog, and she did like an income report, and then she just talked about how to start a blog and how great it is to have a blog. And I started telling my family, like, you know what? I'm going to start a blog about crochet or maybe dogs. Like, I don't know. I'm just going to talk about something. And I have an accounting degree. I went to school for accounting.
Oh, nice.
So writing is not my thing. I've never liked writing ever. But I was really excited about crochet. At the time I started my blog, I literally could make a square washcloth. It's the only thing I accomplished. And I think my next pattern was like a towel topper. And the reason I did that one was because I searched all over online and could not find a super basic beginner towel topper tutorial. They would just say like poke holes, single crochet across, and then do a bunch of double crochets and decrease it until you have this many. And I'd be like, what?
Yeah, so, exactly.
I like created my own. Instead of doing like a double crochet two together, I skipped every other stitch, and that's how I decreased it, because it doesn't matter for a towel topper if it has holes in it or not. And that YouTube video on that actually has like 80,000 views.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's like my best viewing video, and it's just because I explained every single little step, because that's the kind of direction that I needed, and it's just blossomed from there.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I love it when people like they start doing something because they couldn't find the solution that they wanted, so they're like, I'm going to create one myself. And I think that's really awesome. That's really cool. So when you started your blog, did you just start out with those basic patterns, or how did it kind of blossom into what it is today?
So I think my first thing was, like I said, did the washcloths and the towel topper, and I want to say my next one was like a halter top or like a bikini top style something. And it's because I always seen all these like super cute crochet or knit summer tops on Pinterest and all the time, and I was like, going to the stores and buying those costs like $30, $40, $50, $60 depending on where you get it. And I was like, I could make that with like $5 of yarn. And so I watched Dana B on YouTube. She has a ton of really awesome like basic top tutorials and stuff, but she doesn't, at first at least when I started watching her, she didn't have any blog posts. She didn't have any she didn't even know what the stitches were called. She would just say, do the one where you like yarn over and insert your hook and pull up a loop and pull it through all of them. So that's kind of how like I relearned, was through YouTube. But seeing that, and eventually I made like 10 tops, and then at that point I kind of got the idea of how the construction of the tops went together, and I started making summer tops, and then I decided I was going to make a sweater. And because I'd never made a sweater before, I made my first one was like a granny square, super basic, all basic stitches because that's all I knew. And then that's a lot of people's first sweater pattern is my comfy cozy sweater or my essentially fall cardigan are both really great beginner sweater patterns because I was a beginner when I designed them. And I'm kind of getting to a point where I can do more complex designs, but I found that my audience loves simple patterns because I have a lot of beginner followers that follow along with me, which is great. And I love it. And I love having that. But now I'm at a point where I'm doing more than just patterns. I talk about like growing your business, and I have courses that I'm doing now on how to start your own blog and how to make money with your crochet blog and Pinterest and all that good stuff. I do more like craft fair setups and all kinds of stuff. The questions that I had about, okay, I started my blog, now what do I do? Those are kind of the things I want to help other people do.
Yeah, I totally agree. I found myself like my business evolving, and I think that happens to a lot of us as we go. We start out with something and we think this is what it's going to be, but then it ends up turning into something else as we realize like, actually, this is my passion. This is what I really like to do.
Exactly. Yep.
And I think that's really cool of when you have that platform of a blog that you get the opportunity to do that. You have your own website, you're able to make it into whatever you want it to be. You don't have to let there be any constraints on what you do. So what we're gonna what we've already kind of started talking about it, but our focus topic for today was about how having a blog can help grow your business, which I think that you and I have both seen that, and it just provides a platform for people to be able to, one, get to know you, and two, really showcase your work beyond just like one or two photos. Exactly. So if someone is going to start doing blogging, I know a lot of my audience, they will ask me a lot of blogging questions because they're like, I have no idea how to do this. So what are like the first steps that you recommend when people want to start their own blog?
Okay, so I actually have a free course on how to start a blog. So that goes through like how to pick hosting and how to set up the initial like your menu bar and your About Me page and all of that stuff. Because I know when I first started, I knew nothing. I'm really great at Microsoft Word and Excel and any of Microsoft Office things, but I had no like internet blogging, any of that stuff.
It is so hard to learn that.
Exactly. So that's why I made that free course, because I was like, I can't be the only one. I didn't even know what hosting was. I'm sure a lot of you might be wondering, like, what is hosting? It's actually like the website or company that like supports your blog. They're like your landlord for your blog, essentially.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah. So, and I have a course that steps you all through that. And then I think the very next thing that people need to do is, what are they going to talk about? Yeah. But the great thing about when you start a blog is you don't have to just pick one thing and stick with that and that be your thing forever, because, you know, you're going to grow and you're going to change, and you might start talking about crochet and yarn, and you might end up talking about farming alpacas. Like, you don't know. It could be completely different from what you start. So don't think that you have to be stuck in a box. But once you do that, I think growing your audience is like the next big thing you need to focus on. And I know for my blog, Pinterest is like my hugest traffic driver.
Yeah. So, I totally get that. I found Pinterest is like my consistent traffic driver. And then also joining Facebook groups are a really awesome way to drive traffic. I found like if you just put a post in the Facebook group of like one of your patterns, and they'll see the photo and people are like, oh, I'll go click on that. And then like my views will skyrocket just because of that one post that I've done.
And people share on Facebook too. They share your patterns when you share them into those groups, which is awesome.
Yeah. So if someone is trying to grow their audience, and you mentioned Pinterest, how do you go about kind of getting that traffic from Pinterest to your blog?
So when I do mine, I have, if you have people have a blog, they'll understand what a plugin is. And it's kind of like an app that you add to your blog. And I have one that's for Pinterest, and it puts a little pin it button on all of my pictures on my blog. So when someone scrolls through it, all they have to do is click the little pin it button, and they can pin it right to their Pinterest. And that's also how I add all of my own photos to Pinterest through my blog, is through that. But, Actually, my second course I made was on Pinterest pics, and it's how I go about like creating them and making them so that they're bright and eye-catching and easy for people to read. And I found the best way to figure out what kind of things are going to draw people in is change your wording and change your titles and change your photos. You can post the same, like for the same article on your blog, you can make 10 different pins and pin them all onto Pinterest, and then just see which one is sending you back the most traffic. And then that's the pin that you're going to want to keep repinning and keep promoting the most on all of your stuff.
So when you do that, like when you first create those pins, do you create those 10 pins all at once, or do you kind of spread them out before you try to figure out which one is the most successful? Because sometimes I will do okay, I'll create this one pin, and then I'll repin it to different boards, and then the next day I'll have the same pattern, but I'll do a different pin for it, and then repin that one. How do you go about doing that?
So when I make my blog post, I usually have one pin really big right at the top and beginning of my blog post, and I have one at the bottom, and those are the two that usually just remain on my blog always. And those two I pin usually the first day that I post my blog post. And then when I'm creating those, I might create 5 more different pins at the same time, but I do like you do, where I wait a day or wait 2 days, and then I'll pin one, then I'll wait another day and pin another one. And then you can go back after like a month and just check all your stats and see which ones have the most repins, which ones have the most clicks. And then you can also check from your blog side and look and see which ones are getting traffic to your site. And then after that, because I found like wording like top 10 tips for crochet or number 1 mistake you're making, titles like that more so than just like common mistakes. But when you have like top 10 or top 8, I don't know why those seem to perform a lot better for me than just the more basic titles.
Yeah, I think that applies to a lot of people, because you're like, oh wait, that's the top. Ooh, I want to be that. I'll click on that. I want to learn that. I'm drawn into those all the time, and I know exactly what they're doing because I do it myself with my business, but I still fall for it every time.
Well, it's like if you deliver good content, you can, like, people will say like clickbaity titles, but if you're delivering like good content and you have a solid answer for the question that you proposed, like in your title, maybe like if you said, what's the number 1 mistake you're making? And then they come back and they're like, I never thought that not having signs of my prices at craft fairs is a big idea, but it's like, it's a big deal not if people don't know the prices, because how many times do you go into a store and something not have a tag and you're like, well, I'm not going to ask, I'm just going to leave, but you probably would have bought it if you had known how much it cost.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely notice my pins where I use those catchy titles, they definitely do more. And like with my podcast, I'll create pins based off of that, or like where I'll be like, oh, 6 tips to do this, or like my last one was rock your next craft fair, and I got a ton of repins with that because people are like, oh, I want to do that.
Exactly. People have a lot of questions on craft fairs.
Oh yeah, went on one of my interviews with one of my guests, she just shared all of her stuff about craft fairs. So I basically put together like a comprehensive guide to craft fairs, because there's so much info about them. You just have no idea what you need to do. So when you have your products on your blog, do you usually just do free patterns, or do you like exclusive free patterns, or do you always have like your PDFs also for sale in your stores for those patterns, or how do you go about doing that?
I would say about 90% of my patterns are completely free, and then I will do like a $2 or $3 PDF in my Etsy shop. And so on my blog post, it just says like, here's a free pattern, and I do like a little intro, and then I'll put, if you want the ad-free PDF printable version of this, click here and go to my Etsy shop. And it's surprising because actually I think about 25% of my Etsy traffic is directed from my own blog, which is awesome. That means that people who are viewing my free patterns still are willing to pay for a PDF. So I know that some people are concerned that when they give away their patterns for free that they're not making any money. But you do make money through other ways through your blog.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes up for that. But I also I think I have 2 right now that are paid only. But I did do a blog post saying, this is what this pattern is. This is the sizes it ranges from. This is like the yarn. Because I know as an Etsy seller, I get asked if I don't put what yarn it is, how much yarn I used, what color it was, the fiber it was, and what sizes my pattern is in, I get a bunch of DMs and private messages like asking just, what yarn did you use for this? And I'm like, I made that pattern 2 years ago.
I don't
So you have to,
know.
like, go open up your pattern and look in there. So it's best to just have all that information out. But doing a blog post is a great way because you can just send them a link to your blog post and they can read it and go, oh, okay, perfect. And then you have another view on your blog and potentially another sale, which is great. Yeah. But I also do on my blog like roundups of other people's patterns, like for like a Christmas gifts, like last minute Christmas gift roundup or stuff like that, like DIY stuff. And then, like I said, I've been doing a lot of like craft fair setups because I did a lot of craft fairs this year for me actually, and I plan to do more this year. But so many people messaged me and said, how do you set up your stuff? Like, how do you organize it? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, I have no like experience. I worked at Forever 21 for like a hot minute, like 8 months maybe when I want to say like 19. But besides that, I have no background in styling, but I love doing it. But I think like those kind of things, the things you like doing are the things you want to blog about and post about, because those are the things people are going to ask you about and you're going to have to talk about over and over and over again.
It's true. Yeah. If you like sharing what you're like passionate about, and if you do that, like people are going to trust you and trust your opinion because you like doing it. And so they're going to keep asking you questions, keep visiting your blog for information, and like creating those resources for people just like really, really helps. And I've noticed too, for my yarn stash organizer that I created, I had a free tutorial of, okay, here's how you put together this binder with my printable that you can buy for just $5. And I also always include my affiliate links to Amazon or like to Line Brand's website in my blog posts. And someone was asking me, okay, how did you like put this together? Like, I got the organizer cards, but I was like, oh, did you use a trading card like sleeve holder thing? And I was like, oh yeah, I did. Here's the link to my blog that has the affiliate links that I used, or like the products I used. And then the person ended up buying through my affiliate links because I had directed them to that.
Isn't that awesome when that happens? I know like Amazon has like Amazon affiliates, but I know they also have Amazon influencers now. And so you apply through that. You don't have to have a blog to apply through that. It's just based on like your, I think, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter following, just one of the three. And you can make Amazon list that you can just make a list. Like I have a craft fair setup list. So that when someone says, where did you get your tables or did you get your tent, I can just send them my entire list, and then that whole list is all affiliate links, basically, through there, which is awesome.
That is an awesome resource. I had no idea about that. I'm definitely going to go look into that.
You can Google Amazon influencers. It's through your same sign-in. Like, they pay out the same way that Amazon affiliates does, which is great.
Awesome. I did have another question about with driving, like, the traffic, funneling it from your blog to like your Etsy store. Do you generally just try to direct your traffic to your Etsy store through your blog, or do you also like when you're pinning on Pinterest, do you pin links for your patterns like directly from your Etsy store? How do you go about doing that?
All of my free patterns, all the pins that I have for my free patterns that go on Pinterest, I'll direct back to my blog, because I have that little tidbit in there that says if you want the PDF, you can go here, because I would rather have views on my blog and grow my business at that point than necessarily people viewing on my Etsy. But I have looked at my Etsy traffic, like the little pie chart they give you for that, and I do get a lot of traffic from Pinterest. So I'm not sure if other people are maybe linking to my Etsy and pinning about it, which is great. I'm glad that they do. But when I post patterns that are paid patterns only, I usually generally link those right to my Etsy. I don't go through my blog to my Etsy. I might link the blog post that I talked about it to my blog, but I don't do, like, I just skip right over to Etsy a lot of those.
Yeah, I definitely try to do that too, just because, like, especially if somehow your Etsy like listing expires, and if you're linking your pin to that listing, then and if it expires, then that link that you created, even if that pin has like hundreds of repins, it's going to lead them to a page that's not your own in your Etsy store.
It's going to be a dead link, and those can get marked as spam sometimes if they're dead links, which is also not really good for your Pinterest.
Agreed. So what are, like, I know some people, they always ask me, like, is having a blog worth it in terms of generating income, or like putting the effort into it? What are some of the main ways that you generate income through your blog? We mentioned like affiliate sales and then driving traffic to Etsy, but what are your like top things that you get income from?
Affiliate sales is actually the top thing I get income from. I would say I make more on my Etsy shop as a whole, but like I said, 25% of my traffic is directed from my own blog, and then I think another like 10 or 15% is from Instagram, and I think it's my link tree that I have in there. But that huge thing is like, together, my social media and my blog is like 1/3 of my Etsy sales, which is huge. And then almost probably about 90% of my blog income is all affiliate sales. And I am an affiliate of the De Brose Masterclass, and that is, her course, like, I love her course. I love everything she does. I'm like her biggest fan. I tell her all the time. I adore her.
I love her so much.
I know, right? We should start a fan club. She's awesome. But
she'd be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that.
I know, right? I have learned that when it comes to your blog, I just talk about things that I'm passionate about, and those things that I'm passionate about, people can tell that I love Teresa and I love the De Brose Masterclass. Like, they just know, because I get so excited when I talk about it, and that leads to sales. I think I've made back the money that I spent purchasing her course already.
Wow.
Because awesome. I talk about it all the time. I mention it in all of my blog posts, and I'm not even mentioning it because I'm an affiliate. I would be talking about her masterclass as much as I do, even if she had no affiliate program. I'm glad that she does, because now I'm getting some kind of like payment and forms for doing this. But I have like a YouTube video about it. I have a blog post about it. I've done Instagram lives about it. I talk about it. I've talked about it in like 5 Instagram lives. I've talked about it in probably 6 or 7 blog posts it's mentioned. But I think that using those things like that and becoming affiliates of brands that you are passionate about, like if you are passionate about Lion Brand yarn, Lion Brand has a great affiliate program. They have really good payouts compared to a lot of other places. Like, it doesn't even have to be yarn related. You might have a company that just sells like purses or backpacks or bags that you're really passionate about, and you could message them and say, hey, do you want to work together and collaborate? I would love to have to collaborate with you guys and do a giveaway of one of your bags. I do yarn stuff, but I actually use your bag to store all my whips and all that other stuff, and I think that would do great with my audience. And you might get some kind of collaboration where they either pay you to do it, they send you free stuff, or any of that stuff. Like, there are tons of ways that you can make income and grow your business on your blog.
Yeah, for sure.
Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. When you have your, like, so I'm trying to get better at doing like my, like, spreading my affiliate links out within my like blog posts. And I notice, like, when I do Amazon links, if I have the text and image, that gets more clicks, but I haven't made too many affiliate sales. But what are some of the ways that, like, you've been able to drive stuff to make those affiliate sales? Like, what have been your most productive methods of trying to get those?
Well, I know when I first did I was an Amazon affiliate before I was an affiliate of anything else. It's one of the easiest programs. They have like the lowest barrier to entry, I would say, compared to a lot of other places. And I found when I was first doing it, I was getting like no income from that, because I was linking to, if I used the yarn, let's just say Lily's like sugar and cream cotton yarn, and I would link to it, and I didn't go on Amazon and search and try and find like the best deal with Prime shipping. I was just linking to the first yarn that I came across that fit whatever my parameters were. So for me, doing the extra work to go and find like a really cost effective yarn that's like a quality yarn and stuff like that. If you're linking to yarns, if you're linking to hooks, though that's the best way, because you want to get these people, only a small percentage of those people are going to click through your link, and an even smaller percentage of those people are actually going to purchase something. So when they take the time to click through your link, you want to make sure that whatever they're clicking to is worth it. And I've come to learn that means that I don't actually have to link to every hook, needle, stitch marker, whatever that I have on my blog, because sometimes I might not be able to find a quality something on Amazon or whatever affiliate site I'm linking to that fits that need. And so I think just building that trust with your readers, that when they take the time to click through your links and browse what you're trying to essentially sell them, that it is worth their time. Like, that's the biggest thing I can say.
Yeah. I've definitely noticed, like, I've made a lot of my affiliate sales when I like directly make the recommendation to people. Like, a lot of times it's been through Instagram, and then I'll share the link to that blog post that it's in, and because they have that relationship with me, they trust what I'm offering, and then they'll go and buy that. When you do your affiliate links, do you just include that, like, with the, like, if you're doing a pattern, do you just include those like photos or something after your supplies list, or do you usually kind of like talk about it in your blog post to just kind of describe like why you like that product? How do you do that?
In every pattern that I post on my blog, I have one section called materials. And in that section, I'll have the yarn I use, the hooks I use, and I think usually yarn, needle, and scissors. And it will say like yarn, and then it will say Lion brand woolies, and it'll say weight 5, bulky, however many yards they need. And then I'll just have that Lion brand woolies will be linked, and that's what would go to Lion brand or Amazon or wherever I'm linking to. And below that, I'd put, I love like Lion brand woolies because it's warm. It's only partially wool, so it's like not woolly enough to be itchy, but woolly enough to be warm, blah blah blah. But here are 3 other yarns you can use. And sometimes I will do, like, Amazon has Amazon native ads that you can do through your affiliate program. So you can make like a bar, and it will have like 3 or 4 different yarn options down there that you can click. The ones you can put in the ads are a little bit more selective, like you have fewer things to choose from than if you did all links through Amazon. But I found that way, like, some people like just don't like Lion brand woolies, and that's okay, but you need to have like an acrylic alternative, maybe 100% wool alternative, and stuff like that, giving people options instead of just saying this is the one yarn. Because I know I have like a huge yarn stash because I have a shopping problem and a hoarding problem.
Me too. I saw something today, I think it was Happily Hooked magazine said, I like love buying yarn so much, but I shop faster than I crochet. And
exactly.
I was like, so true.
I'm always like, it's gonna get discontinued, it's gonna sell out, this colorway might go away, just buy everything.
Exactly.
But like, I'm trying to be on like a yarn diet right now, where I don't go buy all the yarn that I want and use what's in my stash. So someone might have like one of your alternatives in their stash, which means you aren't going to get an affiliate sale from that necessarily, but you did just get someone who they said, next time I'm going to look at her blog, I need a pattern for something because she saved me money. And it's kind of one of those things that builds trust. Trust builds support. And when people support you, they tend to advertise you for free.
It's so true.
Yeah, like when I'll see on things on Instagram all the time that I got tagged on something. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what I got tagged in. I click on it, and it will be someone's blog post who put, I'm a beginner crocheter looking for an easy sweater pattern. And so I'll have like 3 people who tagged me and said, ooh, Taylor has like a really great, super easy sweater pattern for you if you've never done a sweater before. And so I get, the girl who posted that post is going to come to my blog, but all the other people who are reading through those comments who are also trying to find easy sweater patterns, like, that was a free advertising for me, and I probably got 5 to 10 clicks of people who've never been to my blog to visit my blog, which could be email subscribers at that point, which could be future sales, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. I've found that as I do different things to serve my audience, that then makes them promote my stuff even more. And that's not even what I'm intending to do. I'm just intending to help serve them and like help teach them. And like with this podcast, I've noticed people will just like share about it because they're like, oh wow, she had some really awesome tips that she's put together from this other maker. So like, oh, we should totally check her out. Or like I have a knit academy on my blog. So people who are wanting to learn how to knit, like I've gotten tagged in different comments where they're like, oh, you should check out her page. Like she's doing
I'm gonna have
this.
to check that out because I have just made this is my first knit
Nice.
that I've ever made. So I can only do the knit stitch and maybe a little bit of purl, but I might have to definitely check that out.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can use some tips for sure.
Yeah, I'm like I have a bunch of YouTube videos that I recorded for it, and I have I'm gonna be doing like, okay, here's how you cast on, here's the knit stitch, purl stitch, stockinette stitch, and then casting off. And the pattern that I walk everyone through it's basically just a sampler scarf. So you can make it into a cowl, you can make it into like a super long infinity scarf, or you can just do it as a normal scarf. It's really whatever you want to do.
That's exactly what I need too. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's basically just designed to help you practice. Yeah, that's so good. I love getting to serve people. I think I've noticed my trend now in my business is that I'm focusing a lot on, okay, these are patterns that I want to make, and I also want to make things that other people want to make too, because a lot of people don't necessarily want to design patterns, but they love when there's a simple thing that they see, oh, I could actually do that. That actually looks really easy.
Well, and people want to take like the thinking out of it. They don't want to do the math for sizes. They don't want to do like how many multiples of this stitch do I need to get whatever a scarf this long. Like I know I love when I get frustrated with my own design. Sometimes it's a lot of frogging to design stuff. Yeah. But it's nice to just be able to look at a pattern and say, I'm going to chain this many, do this many stitches by this many rows, and then I'm done.
Oh yeah, as a designer, like that's why like I crochet as my business, but also crochet to relax, because as a designer, when you look at other people's patterns, like it is so relaxing when you don't have to think of writing down how many stitches you did in this row. You're just like, okay, this is all I got to do. And it's so nice to not have to think.
I keep thinking I'm going to get like one of those little recorders that doctors use and start just saying like row 1.
Oh yeah.
Like double crochet across, because that's how much time you spend stopping and then going back and like writing down what you did and then going back. Like it'd be nice to just have it and you could just fast forward to the parts where you talk. But if someone could invent that, that would be great. Something for crocheters.
That would be amazing. I wish I could figure out how to design that, but I wouldn't know the first thing about that.
It's like you only need it to turn on when you're ready to like record what you're doing. So maybe some kind of like Alexa something. Alexa, record this and tell me later.
Exactly. Or a lot of times I will input my crochet patterns in Google Docs as I'm making them, so then I don't ever have to go back and type them up again. And I found that helps so much. I just have my phone and I'm just like, okay, this is what I did.
That's a good idea.
It saves so much time.
I have papers all over. I have patterns that I started like half done. And then I'm like, I know there's a piece of paper around here somewhere that has what hook size I was using, what yarn I was using, and all that information. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I guess this one's never getting done because I have no clue what I was doing.
Yeah, I just put it in my phone, and that has saved me so much time and effort. And then I know it's all in one place. And then if I lose my notebook, I don't have to worry because it's in Google Docs, so I can recover it in any computer.
I think it would be beneficial if I started using just one notebook too. I have these grid papers that I use, but I have like 5 of these, and I have like one in my bag, one in my office, one in my bedroom. Like they're all over the place. I'm like, this is just a mess.
Yeah, it's so hard to keep track of everything. So I noticed that you I might be remembering this wrong, but you also were like starting a course for like getting email subscribers and stuff.
My last course was how to make money on your blog, and that just goes through affiliate marketing, how to be an affiliate, advertising and getting that on your blog and all these other things. I think I tell you 4 ways that you can make money on your blog. But my friend Ashley of A Crafty Concept just did a whole entire like blog series. I think she's still in the middle of it about running a small business on a budget. Yes. And she does a really, really great blog post about why you need an email list. And then she tells you how you can have an email list without even having a blog. You don't have to have a blog to have an email list. But like, I know for me, getting those signups to my email list is like the reason I have so many subscribers on my email list is because of my blog. But I mean, Ashley, she's like my Insta bestie. We talk every day. She's seriously the most amazing person ever. She's awesome. Her blog post on that, you guys, it's just a series that she's doing, and she's doing another one on like I think either PayPal or like Etsy patterns or something.
Oh yeah.
And it is gonna be like so good. I can't wait. Like we talk about the stuff that we're gonna like the courses we're gonna do or the posts we're gonna do, but I still have to go read her posts every time because they're just so full of like gold information that I need and that I need to share with my readers because they need that in their life. So
Exactly. I've been loving getting all this advice from different makers and getting to share all of that on my blog because I'm like, ooh, I'm learning so much. Let's share this with my audience.
Exactly. And that's another great thing about a blog is that you make friendships with other bloggers that you probably never would have had because like blogging is a whole separate world from crochet. Like you blog about crochet, but there's like the whole blogging side of it.
Yeah, and the business side.
Yes, and you can like bond with people over that, and you make friendships. And me and Ashley like guest posted on each other's blogs before, and it leads to kind of friendships where like she shares my post, I share her post, and it's not like any kind of agreement that we have that we're gonna share each other's posts. It's just that her content is so great and so relevant to my audience, and my content is so relevant to her audience that we're always sharing it. And you will find that if you share another blogger's like pattern, or like if you do them in a roundup, that they might include you in one of their roundups next time because you might not have been on their radar before that point, but the more that you like promote people you love, they will see that, and they will usually like when the next time, like if you do a lot of like hat patterns, the next time that they're like doing something about hats or doing a roundup about hats, they'll be like, that Taylor, she kept sharing all my other stuff, I'm going to share one of her hat patterns in my roundup. And that kind of like community that we grow just in blogging is so great too.
I totally agree. I have developed friendships with all of these makers now who have like all like followers that I used to be like, oh my goodness, like I still a fangirl over them, but I'm like, I can't believe that they came on my show and like that they even wanted to talk with me, and now I'm friends with them because now we talk and different things, and it's super cool that I've made connections with these people, and like I've been able to go in an engagement group on Instagram with all of these huge bloggers that I love. And so I'm just like, oh my goodness. And just reaching out to other bloggers, they know the stuff you're going through and they want to help you. Like
exactly.
It's one of those communities where we don't want to like keep all the stuff to ourselves. We want to share what we know so that other people can succeed. And
I want more people to crochet and like play with yarn, and the more of us that share about it, and the more that you bring your yarn with you to the doctor's office and to the post office or wherever you're going, to the beach even, and bring your crochet and wear your items that you make, is like the more people you're going to inspire to join our community. And the more people who join our community, the more all of us are going to grow, which is awesome.
Yeah. I love that we get to do that. It's super cool. And like I've started doing guest bloggers on my blog, and I love getting to share people's patterns. It's really awesome that I can use my platform for like people who are either just starting their blog or they don't have one and they don't like writing. I'm like, hey, I love to write. I will do the content for you. You just give me the pattern or you give me the info and I'll compile it. I want to help you. I want to help promote your business, and let me do some of the work, you do some of the work, and we'll both grow.
Well, that's the great thing about guest posts is I think I talked about this in a blog post I did, 2019 goals for makers. And one of the things I said was guest post on someone's blog. You don't have to have a blog in order to guest post on someone's blog. If you just want to try it out and see like, could I even write a blog post and whatever? Because if you're going to do the work and just try it out, you might as well submit that to another blogger and see if they'll share it, because maybe it'll do really well and that blogger will be like, listen, your blog post is killing it. You should definitely do a blog. And maybe it just is like, not for you, but you don't know until you try. So I think like guest posting is a great way to test that out without having to like invest in more of your time or any of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And like a lot of the big makers out there, they're starting to do that on their blogs. Like Jessica from the Hook Nook, she has her whole thing where every season, like she's got 4 seasons where she'll have people come guest blog.
Yeah, she does her designer calls, which are awesome.
Yeah. And like I have been chosen for 2 of them, and that's helped grow my traffic. And like by getting selected by some of these different bloggers who already have an audience, you build rapport with them, and they're like, oh, if this person featured them, then I really should check them out. And that can help boost your social media, that can boost your blog traffic. And like Joy of Motion has just started doing that on her blog, and then Make and Do Crew did hers. So like and I think people get really afraid to try to go and apply for those, but you know, these people, they want to help you, and like you have a really good shot of doing it if you just try.
And that's like the great thing about applying for other people. I got the chance to be on Ashley of Sorella's blog. I guess posted on her blog as well. And she just did a designer call. Like, go apply, because at the very least, if you already have a blog, like I can use her applying process, like her application process, to maybe use that for future applications on my blog if I decide I want to open it up to guest post. Yeah. And so just having those experiences, people are going to tell you no. People tell me no every day. People tell me no for yarn support. They tell me, no, you can't be an advertiser for us. You don't have enough views. They say, no, I don't want to guest post. No, I don't want you to guest post. People are going to tell you no all the time. And that's okay. You just, if you can get like a why did you say no? And then they might say, when you get to this many followers, when you get to this many blog posts, when you get to this many blog views, you can have all those things that you write down, and you make a list that you keep and say, when I get 5K Instagram followers, I'm going to reach back out to this blogger or this company and see if they can work together. I know it's really scary to be told no, but all of those experiences are like such a great learning moment for you that it's worth it to take the chance, even if they say no, because if you don't ask, the answer will always be no.
Yes, always. Yeah, and like it's really scary to put yourself out there and put yourself out there for rejection, but your dreams are only going to be dreams unless you go for it. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to always be wondering, oh, should I have done that? Oh, should I have done this? And like your dreams aren't going to move anywhere. But if you try,
you'll be surprised how many people will say yes. You'll be surprised at how many people might say no, but offer you an alternative. I had someone request to be in a giveaway, my next giveaway, but like I already have my next giveaway like all set up, so I am not like taking in any more makers into my giveaway. But I said, hey, you can do posts on your stories that you're looking for other makers to collaborate for a giveaway. People love doing giveaways. It's a great way to grow your following. And like however many people, like the 5 people that get back to you, you guys could all do a giveaway yourselves. You could do just because it's Tuesday or spring is coming, or just a giveaway for no reason because you want to. And I think like just because you hear the word no, it's not always like a hard no. Sometimes it's a maybe.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's a get back with you later, but sometimes it's a yeah. Sometimes it's a heck yes, like absolutely, let's do this. Sometimes you get more than what you were asking for, which is great.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that with my podcast, just like reaching out to people like and being like, okay, I know they've got this huge following, they might get rejected, and like everyone has wanted to like be on it, whether they have the time or not. That is the problem. Like I tried to get Teresa from Deborah Say, but she's like, I would love to, but I am so busy that there's no way that
She's like the busiest person I know. She is so busy.
She's
But she's
so
growing
busy.
so much right now. It's so great for her.
It's so cool. And she's like, I would love to, but I am way too busy. But if I get an opening, I'll let you know. And like I have asked Jessica from the Hook Nook to come on, but she is like, I just got my book deals, so I can't like right
Mhm.
now. I don't know what the rest of my year looks like. So if I do have an opening, I will let you know because I'd love to do that. And like people that you think would say no, like a lot of times they'll say yes, and if they say no, then there's like a reason. It's not necessarily like, oh, I think you're awful at that. It's just
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I have no time. I'm so sorry.
Sometimes it's like, no, but ask me again 3 months from now. It's
Yeah,
like me
or
and you did that. When I
yeah,
had school
yeah.
starting back up again, I didn't know what my schedule was gonna be. I was like, hey, can you get back to me like 2 weeks into the semester and then we can pick a date and get together and do it.
Yeah, yeah. And like with yarn companies, sometimes it's like, okay, when you get to this following, then yeah, we'd love to do it because we love what you get to do. And
Mm-hmm.
like I've started like collaborating with Mary Maxim a lot because all I did was reach out to them and was like, hey, I heard that you were looking for this. Would you be interested? And they're like, yeah, of course. And so they send me free yarn. Like,
Exactly.
just go for it.
A
That
lot of
will help grow
places
your
will do
blog.
yarn support and you're looking for like, let's just say you're looking for like summertime like cotton yarn, and they may go, we're all filled up on like our summer design patterns and our summer like yarn support, but if you come back in the winter time or fall time and want to get yarn
Mm-hmm.
support for like a sweater or a pillow or a blanket or something like that, they're a lot more willing to work with you, and sometimes it's just a seasonal thing for yarn companies as well.
Yeah. What have been some of the yarn companies that you have reached out to with those type of things?
I've gotten yarn support from Lion Brand. I've reached out
Nice.
and said, I have a pattern I'm working on. This is like, I sent them like a picture, like just a drawing, which I have a horrible artist, so don't think you have to like be really good at drawing in order to whatever. I'm like, this is the concept of what I'm trying to create. I would love to use your yarn. I have a blog. I tell them, a bit about my business and what it is and like just my following and all that stuff because companies like to know that stuff. And they've sent me yarn support. They've also told me no 2 other times. So I was told no
Mm.
twice before they said yes. So that's something to keep in mind. And then lovecrochet.com, it's also like loveknitting.com. They have sent me yarn support multiple times, and they have this thing called the Flock that you can join,
Oh, uh-huh.
and it's FLOCK, and it's like their designers group that you can be a part of, or their bloggers group.
Oh,
And
cool.
they have like this little like newsletter email that they send out to all their designers, and they say, hey, Red Heart's putting out these 3 new yarns, and if anyone is willing to like wants to put an order in, we'll send you like, depending on what orders we get in, we might send you like all of what you request or part of what you request or a different color of what you requested, but you can request like what type you want and what color and all of that, how many balls
Oh,
you want.
wow. That's
And
awesome.
yeah, and the only thing you have to do is write a review like to them and say, I used this yarn, it was really soft or it was scratchy or whatever you want to say about it, so that when they release it, that they have some customer reviews in their little on their like website or whatever under the comment section. And then also I've sent them when I just wanted, I was like, hey, I'm going to do some like swim top patterns. I'd really love to use your XYZ whatever yarn, and I would love to do it in like red, white, and blue. Like I would love that. Let me know if that's something you guys are interested in, and then I just make sure that I always link back to their site when you use their
Mm.
yarn, even if you don't have an affiliate. Because I know Love Knitting and Love Crochet is, you can only be affiliates in certain states, and Michigan is not one of the states that they have an affiliate program in.
California isn't either, which I was so sad about.
Yeah. But you can still be part of their flock and still
Yeah.
receive yarn support. So even though you're
Okay.
not going to get money for that, I mean, yarn is pretty much money when you're a crocheter. It's like the same
So true.
equivalent to us.
So
So,
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I've gotten that like I like when I did 31 Days of Candy, I used a lot of Premier yarns,
mhm.
and so they reached out to me at the end of that month and were like, "Hey, would you be interested in doing a Christmas collaboration with us where you design like a Christmas collection for us that we'd feature on our blog and using our yarn?" And so they sent me yarn for that, and like I've worked with like some other yarn companies or different things, and they're like, yeah, I'll send you that, or they reach out to you sometimes, and
Mhm.
like it's really cool when you get those opportunities to do that. And I think having a blog is one way that when they see you have a website, they're like, ooh, okay, they have
You
a
instantly get
platform.
like the professional stamp put on like
Yes.
your thing when you have a website that they can go to outside of Etsy, and like I don't know why it instantly brings you to a whole nother level of professionalism.
So true, so true. Well, we're almost done with like our time chatting. So what are some like final tips and tricks that you have or advice for people starting a blog, or just wait or like advice on how to utilize that for their businesses?
Okay, so I would just say like the first thing is if you don't know something, ask people. I sent out emails to bloggers when I first started my blog, and I had 2 patterns on there, I think, and like 1 thing about yarn and 3 posts on my blog. I messaged like 8 crochet bloggers and said, hey, I'm starting a crochet blog, any advice? And 3 people didn't respond to me. 3 people sent me like a quick little, hey, do this, this, and this, or don't stay away from this, or do this, or whatever. And then 1 person I actually corresponded with, Hopeful Honey.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yep, she is in Australia, and we had like months and months of correspondence about our blogs,
Wow.
what was going on, and she referred me to some people, and she just and join Facebook groups. Join Facebook groups that share your finished stuff, but also join blogging Facebook groups.
Yeah,
When you join
yeah.
a blogging Facebook group and then your site one day you put in some plugin and everything goes wrong, someone on your Facebook group will know how to fix it for you. I really think when it comes to blogging, just find your community. Find your blogging yarn people because they will help you.
Yeah.
That's why I did
Yeah.
that course, is because I had so many people messaging me every day, like, how did you start your blog? Who do you host through? Like, what do you post about? And that's why I
Mhm.
started doing courses, and I've developed that side of my business, which is my favorite part of my business.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically just finding what you're passionate about and then expanding on it. And do not be afraid to ask for help. And do not be afraid of being told no. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. The world will not end, your blog will not
Exactly.
plummet, like, and like it's okay if your blog starts out and you don't have skyrocketing traffic right away. Like
I had
it
12 views on my blog for like the first 2 months. 12 views a day. That was it. And
yeah,
that was okay.
I'm still like continuing to drive traffic to my blog, so I'm developing what works for mine. And so I sometimes like, oh, I don't even hit 100 views a day, but like that's okay. Other days I do really well. Like it comes and goes, and that's
You
just
have
part.
to celebrate the small victories. I know the first time I hit 100 views, I was like freaking out. Then the first time I hit 300 views, I like thought I won the lottery.
Me too, me too.
Just like when you get your first 100 Instagram followers, it's a big deal, but you need to celebrate those. Like when you hit those, they seem small, but you need to celebrate them and talk about them and share and do a giveaway, and people love that. People get excited for you too. And that's what's so awesome about our community.
Yeah, I agree. I've loved seeing people get excited about all those small milestones that I've hit, or me getting excited about milestones they've hit. And it's really cool that we get to have an encouraging community that wants to help each other. You don't find that very often, and I
That is
love
true.
that we get to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I have loved talking with you, gleaning your knowledge, and just hearing everything that you've shared. And I would love to do another interview where we can talk more about your
Oh, I
courses
would
and your.
absolutely love to come back. I could talk all day. I have a million things I could talk about blogging and crochet.
Me too. I just like sometimes I'll talk to my husband and I'll just go on and on and on about all this different stuff, and I love sharing about it and like sharing
Exactly.
what I've learned. Yeah.
And if
It's
anyone's
great.
like us, that's why you need a blog, so that you can talk about yarn all day and share with people, and they will actually want to hear you talk about it.
Exactly. And it's so fun to talk about. Why wouldn't you want to share about it?
Exactly. Well, thank you so
Awesome.
much for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, it was great. And I will see you on Instagram.
Yes, awesome.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like it below if you enjoyed watching it, and hit the subscribe button if you never want to miss out a video from me, and also check out my other videos and tutorials on my channel. See you next time!